Hello, everybody, and welcome to a very special edition of the Wrestling Forum. This is a supersized edition of the Wrestling Forum as we will be covering four shows tonight: NXT, SmackDown, AEW Rampage, and AEW Dynamite Saturday night. Oh, my lord. Um, this is one of those weeks that everything just went hay in a handbasket. Um, so we're not gonna waste any time. We're diving in. We're gonna go all in on this one, guys. No pun intended. So we started off with Joe Gacy going one on one with NXT champion Tommaso Ciampa. Ciampa wins the match in 10 minutes and 47 seconds. I gotta say it. Probably one of the best matches we've seen on NXT 2.0. You know, we've been very about them, about the job and the body of work and the whole 9 yards. And you know, now that it's a developmental, I gotta admit it. Best match of NXT 2.0. Fight of the night for me on this one. Easily 3 to 3.5 stars. Anthony Florio, it's yours.
100% agree on that, MF. You're absolutely right. We've been giving NXT 2.0 a lot of slack because, it's been, average, mediocre, boring, the whole 9 yards. Sorry, Bullock, but, that's the way it's been. But MF nailed it. Gacy remains a solid wrestler trapped in a bad gimmick. He performed well enough against Ciampa to look like a future challenger. However, it never truly seemed like he had a legitimate chance to defeat the Blackheart. Harlan is an interesting addition to Gacy's act for the moment, but he has far more to give on his own. Hopefully, he is not stuck in the crowd for too much longer. As great as the match was, and it was, 3.5 stars, I agree, but I kind of felt it was an unnecessary speed bump to get to Ciampa and Braun Breaker. It would have been more interesting. I think it would have been more interesting to have Braun Breaker face Joe Gacy, since the challenger should have to prove himself, not the champion. Tommaso doesn't have to prove himself. We know this, but I would have swapped out Ciampa for Breaker, and that could have been an even better match. But hey, I guess they obviously wanted the champ to prove himself. Don't know why, because he doesn't have to, but that's just my only little gripe. But other than that, great match. 3.5, correct, MF? Is that what you gave it?
I said 3 to 3.5. So yeah, no, you're definitely within the range.
3 to 3.5. Yes, I 100% agree. So you're absolutely right. So Michael Bullock, first sign of life for your new NXT 2.0. Finally.
Yeah, it's about damn time that we had a match that was good on the NXT 2.0. So yeah, 3.5. I definitely agree with the rating. I mean, this. Yeah, and I'm with Florio. I mean, my only gripe is, I mean, I think it should have been Braun Breaker against Joe Gacy, because Braun Breaker is the one who's challenging Tommaso Ciampa, and Braun Breaker wants to prove that his number one contendership is no fluke. So, but it is what it is. A nice match here to start it off. So nothing else to say. Fletch, it's yours.
I actually think that we might see Braun Breaker go after Joe Gacy possibly next week as a anything you can do, I can do better type thing. So no, I honestly I get where you guys are coming from, but I think they might do Braun Breaker versus Joe Gacy just to do as like an anything you can do, I can do better type thing. That's what I'm thinking is gonna happen. But we'll wait and see what happens. Unfortunately, NXT now is being plagued by the cutouts, just like Monday Night Raw. And we did get some cutouts here. We had Exxon Quinn versus Malik Blade. Exxon Quinn wins the match in 2 minutes and 45 seconds. Then we have Ivy Nile going up against Valentino Fornes. Ivy Nile wins the match in 2 minutes and 43 seconds. Then we had Eichmann Jano versus Julius Creed. Julius Creed wins the match in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. Then we had ourselves, maybe we might get into this one. Actually, we will get into this one. It was a tag team match. Kyle O'Reilly and Von Wagner versus Pete Dunne and Rich Holland. When it was all said and done, the team of Wagner and O'Reilly wins the match. Unfortunately, I don't have a time of the fall, Anthony.
I'm on it.
So, all right. So, but it is yours. So, yeah, Wagner and O'Reilly wins it.
I got you. So, while this tag team match never hit a top gear, it was a good way to showcase Wagner with veteran talent. He looked dominant and dangerous without looking completely out of place. He just needs more time to form his moveset and style. He could truly benefit from working with O'Reilly. The veteran wrestler has the talent to not lose momentum while taking the beatdowns for his team. It'll be fun to see them evolved as an alliance and a team. So, that's honestly what I can say. All I can say about this. As I look for the time of the fall, I mean, this was the first real good match for Wagner. His first significant big money field fight here, and solid here. I would probably give this about another 3 to 3.5 for the effort. And hold on a minute for you. I think I might have a time of the fall here. I think we might have something here. Let's see. And yep, I'm about to have a time of the fall for you. The time of the fall for this match, it was 12 minutes and 40 seconds. I'm going to give this 3 to 3.25 stars for the effort. It was another one of the fights of the night for sure. So not much more to say. Michael Bolek, come on in. Von Wagner, Kyle O'Reilly win the match, 12 minutes and 40 seconds. Time of the fall.
Yeah, this was about a 3.25 star match. Definitely. It was interesting to see how this tag team would do against Holland and Dunn, but yeah, I was very impressed with them. So there's really nothing more to say. Fletch, it's yours.
3 stars, no doubt about it. We really got nothing more to add. So next up we had was Duke Hudson versus Grayson Waller. Duke Hudson wins the match in 2 minutes and 39 seconds. Then we had a women's tag team match. Indy Hartwell and Persia Peralta versus Saray and Army Miller. And it was Hartwell and Persia winning the match 2 minutes and 36 seconds. That leads us to the main event of the evening. Michael Bullock, you'll get into this one. And it was a 2-for-1er. First off, started with Isaiah Swerve Scott versus Santos Escobar for the North American Championship. Isaiah Swerve Scott wins the match in 11 minutes and 40 seconds. But wait, there's more. Carmelo Hayes comes out and hands in the contract that guaranteed him a title shot at any title of NXT. Is equivalent of the Money in the Bank. He cashes in the winner of the bout in 1 minute and 12. And new NXT North American Champion, Carmelo Hayes. Michael Bullock, the history was made. Carmelo Hayes just took the title from Isaiah Swerve Scott.
And Isaiah Swerve Scott losing the title, was no surprise here. Obviously, because of him and the Hit Row basically getting drafted to SmackDown. But I was surprised with who won it, because when you first heard of the match, we were thinking, yeah, this is where Santos Escobar is going to go over here. Nope. He loses, but Swerve ends up losing the title anyway, but it's to Carmelo Hayes, and now he's the North American champion. And yeah, so hopefully it's now on to bigger and better things for Haynes. And as for Swerve Scott, him in the Hit Row, well, let's just say, Fletch, they're now, well, after Crown Jewel, they'll soon officially be members of the Blue brand. So, yeah, so Swerve Scott losing the match, losing the title was never was not a surprise. Who he lost it to was a surprise. So, Fletch, it's yours.
Unbelievable. Great match between Escobar and Isaiah Swerve Scott. Easily 3 stars. But then Carmelo Hayes being the thief in the night to steal the North American Championship. This was a pleasant surprise. This was a great move by NXT to put the belt on this man. This guy is a bright young talent. He's going to be a very good, powerful heel. And I really am very high on Carmelo Hayes, more than ever before. And now here he is, the North American champion. And you know what? Yes, we know that it was going to happen sooner rather than later. But my goodness, what a moment. What a point for this to happen. You can't say anything else. Pleasant surprise. I'm so happy it was not Santos. I did not want Santos Escobar to get this belt. I didn't want him to get it. It's a great swerve that they did here. The fans didn't see it coming. The IWC did not see this coming. It was the perfect move to do. It was absolutely perfection what they did here. I'm happy. I'm happy with the outcome. I got nothing more to say. Anthony Florio, it is yours. New North American champion is Carmelo Hayes after Santos and Isaiah Swerve Scott gave us, if this was the final chapter of their rivalry, man, did they go out in a blaze of glory.
They sure did. This was the fight of the night for me, 3 3/4 to 4 stars. Swerve and Escobar have always had incredible chemistry. This was as good as it absolutely needed to be after everything that led here. It was the end of a rivalry that has defined Escobar's entire NXT career. The two got physical early and did not let up in their aggressive offense. NXT 2.0 needs matches like this, or more matches like this, to showcase the best stars in the company. While Hit Row deserved the call up to SmackDown, it was a shame that the ending was telegraphed by that move. Luckily, NXT pulled a smart twist. Carmelo Hayes was ready for this moment and needed the reheat moment after last week. Melo is NXT North American champion, and it should be fun to watch him reshape that title scene, no doubt. 3 3/4, 4 stars, fight of the night for me. Let's get to our overall review.
Overall, I got to give it a 6 out of 10 because there were a lot of cutouts on the match. There was a lot of cutouts. There was a lot of, whatever you want to call, 3 really good matches that stood out on NXT. So it wasn't a complete and utter disaster, but I'll easily go out and call this a 6 out of 10. So Anthony, it's yours.
6 out of 10 for me as well. Everything you said was spot on. It's a work in progress. It still needs work, honestly, but it's slowly but surely starting to creep in the right direction again. And I'll tell you what, I know we're probably going to have to endure one more show. But Halloween Havoc, gentlemen, I'm going to be honest with you. Halloween Havoc on the 26th, I'm actually feeling pretty good about it, if I'm going to be honest with you. Because you got Tommaso Ciampa against Braun Breaker for the NXT title. You're going to have a 3-way match, a triple threat match for the women's tag team titles with Io Shirai and Zoe Stark defending against, once again, Gigi Dolan and JC Jane of the Toxic Attraction. And then on top of that, we got 2 new challengers in the form of Indy Hartwell and her besties. So we're going to see them all go at it. And then, of course, Raquel Gonzalez, Mandy Rose, NXT Women's Championship, But to sweeten the deal, gentlemen, spin the wheel, make a deal. Oh, I'm feeling pretty damn good about that. So we'll see about that. But this is a 6 out of 10 for right now. Next week's show, well, I don't really have a good feeling about it because I'm sure we're going to get a lot of superstars and wrestling challenge like cutouts here. But Michael Bullock, as I give it to you, it's a 6 out of 10. As I give it to you, though, Bullock, I would be very encouraged going into the Halloween Havoc show because we got all 3 matches that have been signed so far. All have potential to be something really good and really special. So 6 out of 10. Bullock, be encouraged for Halloween Havoc coming up.
Yeah, I'm definitely encouraged for Halloween Havoc. It's a 6 out of 10 for me. I mean, you had 3 good matches, but like you said, a lot of cutouts for this show. I mean, yeah, but I am definitely encouraged for this Halloween Havoc. Obviously, I mean, with the matches that have been signed up and Braun Breaker and against Tommaso Ciampa for the NXT title. You got the triple threat for the NXT women's tag team title, and you got the NXT women's title. I'll tell you what, I mean, Halloween Havoc has a chance to be a big night for Toxic Attraction. I mean, because who knows? There's a possibility that the 3 women there, JC Jane, Gigi Dolan, and Mandy Rose, could walk out with gold. So, I mean, it's a possibility, but we'll wait and see. So, there's nothing more to say. Let's move on, Fletch.
All right. It's time, and we're going to go into the SmackDown Live. We started off with a promo by Edge. Edge, powerful as usual. Angry Edge, the best Edge, and he definitely delivered it in spades. There's nothing more to say. It's on. It's gonna be Hell in a Cell in Saudi Arabia. Oh my goodness, Anthony! Strong hype for the strong promo by Edge to lead to this match.
I know it's all about Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar for the Universal Championship, MF, but if I'm going to be honest with you, wouldn't you consider Edge and Rollins inside Hell in a Cell the biggest match in Saudi Arabia history?
Oh, without a doubt. I don't think the Saudis know what they're about to witness going into Hell in a Cell.
Right?
I don't think they've ever seen that sadistic structure ever. No,
they haven't.
They don't know what's about to happen in Hell in a Cell.
Well, get ready, Saudis. I mean, I don't know what else there is to say on that. So, but anyways, MF said it best, and it's what Bullock and I always say, and we're never going to get tired of saying it. Angry Edge is always the best Edge, and Edge is so great at these go-home promos. He has made a career off of them, of drumming up interest in anything he does by going deep, sometimes dark. He creates a must-see atmosphere for his matches, thanks to his ability to hit at the heart of the viewer by never losing sight of what his program is intended to do. Seth Rollins made the feud personal by invading Edge's home. The Hall of Famer responded by challenging him to the most storied gimmick match the company has to offer. The feud has steadily escalated, and the promo reflected as much. This was great stuff by a grizzled veteran, and the match with Rollins is very, in my opinion, no, it's not likely. It's very likely to steal the damn show in Saudi Arabia if their 2 previous encounters at SummerSlam and Allegiant and Madison Square Garden are any indication. So I think and I'll tell you one thing, gentlemen, and I'm sure you're going to agree with me when I ask this question. Right now, as of right now, when it comes to the history of the Hell in a Cell matches, there have been tons of A lot of these Hell in a Cell matches, a lot of them have been instant classics. The very first one, Taker and Shawn. The over 45-minute showdown between Triple H and Shawn Michaels. I mean, Brock Lesnar and The Undertaker, 2002, No Mercy. That 6-man Hell in a Cell match at the Armageddon in 2000. List goes on and on and on and on. But the one we have as the greatest for right now, the greatest one we ever saw, which also happens to be the greatest match in WrestleMania history, according to the three of us. The end of an era, Triple H and The Undertaker. WrestleMania 28, Shawn Michaels the referee. Gentlemen, if these two guys' body of work, based on what we've already seen at SummerSlam and in Madison Square Garden, would you agree with me, guys, that this Hell in a Cell match, yes, it's Saudi Arabia, so what? I believe in my heart of hearts, gentlemen, and I'm sure you're going to agree with me. I'm sure both of you are going to agree with me wholeheartedly on this. Wouldn't you guys agree that this match here has the potential to possibly surpass Triple H and The Undertaker as the greatest Hell in a Cell match of all time?
Oh, yeah, very possible. Yes.
Well,
I think it's possible, but whether they actually do it or not remains to be seen.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I was just very curious as to what you guys thought, but I believe in my heart of hearts, if the body of work that we saw at Allegiant Stadium in SummerSlam almost 2 months ago, and then, of course, Madison Square Garden last month, combine those two matches into this one, we're easily looking at the greatest Hell in a Cell match of all time. So there isn't much more to say on that. So, but that being said, one of the segments of the night, you can definitely make an argument for the segment of the night here. So not much more to say. Michael Bullock, you know what we always say, Angry Edge is the best Edge. Amen?
Yeah, Angry Edge, but I don't know about you, Florio. I don't think it was Angry Edge we saw tonight. I think it was Psycho Edge. I mean, it's
just as good.
You could just see the look in his eye when he directed it to Seth Rollins, because all I can say is, Seth Rollins, you may have unleashed a version of Edge that you probably wish you might not have released. I mean, when you started with the stomping on the surgically repaired neck of Edge, and then the most disturbing thing when he invaded Edge's home. I mean, thank goodness there was nobody home, because if Beth and his daughters were there, oh God, that would have been, I don't know about you guys, but that would have been very, very uncomfortable to watch if Beth and the kids were home. I mean, wouldn't you agree with it?
Agreed.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so if you're smart enough, Seth Rollins, I mean, I don't think you would want to show up at Saudi Arabia for Hell in a Cell, because what Edge is prepared to do to you in Saudi Arabia, inside Hell in a Cell, ooh, man, oh man. I mean, you heard the words of Edge. He was going to scar his soul and this was a scar that he may not even heal from. So, yeah, if this is the Edge we're getting, Rollins is in big time trouble. And who knows? It's possible we could even see some blood in this. Whether they actually do it or not remains to be seen. But you know what? I'm going to say this, to me, was the segment of the night as far as I'm concerned. I mean, the fire and the passion coming out of Edge, whether he's Angry Edge or Psycho Edge, it makes it very, very good. So, segment of the night for me, Rollins, you're in for a night of hell. Fletch, it's yours.
All right, and now we go to the first semifinal of the King of the Ring. Finn Balor versus Sami Zayn. Finn Balor's going to the finals. He's going to Saudi Arabia. 11 minutes and 25 seconds. Anthony Florio, without a doubt, the best match of the King of the Ring.
Like him or not, Lame Duck Man can work. He can. You may not like his character. I know Bullock and I damn sure don't like his character, but the man can wrestle. But of course, we all know MF. He knows he knows Sammy's history way more than Bullock and I do, because I know he followed him when he was in Ring of Honor, when he was El Generico, and the instant classics he was putting on down there. But anyways, anyone who paid attention to their NXT runs knows Finn Balor and Sami Zayn can deliver a hell of a match. While this one was hampered by a commercial break, it was still hella competitive and a ton of fun. Zayn reminded us of how good he is when he doesn't have to work around his conspiracy theorist shtick. And Balor continued what has been a hot streak between the ropes since he returned to the main roster. Balor advances to the finals of the King of the Ring tournament, where he will meet either Xavier Woods or Jinder Mahal. We'll know that outcome Monday night on Raw. WWE booking suggests it will be Mahal, which will be a major letdown, given how Woods actively campaigned for the return of the tournament and the opportunity to be king. Either way, we're looking at the potential for a really fun final. Hopefully, it reflects a tournament that has typically been a launching point for stars. 3.5 stars is my rating for this match, so not much more to say. Michael Bullock, let's get your thoughts on this match.
Yeah, 3.5 stars. I mean, obviously, like you said, the best match of the King of the Ring tournament. I mean, yeah, say what you want about Lame Duck Man. I mean, Florio and I don't like him, but yeah, so now he has a chance to become King of the Ring. So there's really nothing more to say. Fletch, it's yours.
3.5 stars. Totally agree with everything you guys have just said here. I don't think there's anything more to add. I mean, you guys pretty much touched on it. So, yeah. So next up, guys, we have ourselves Naomi. This was originally supposed to have been Naomi one-on-one with Sonya Deville, but Sonya throws a curve, forces Naomi to go into with a handicap match, and brought a little reinforcement, Shayna Baszler. Well, that ended up being a disaster, and Shayna Baszler and Sonya Deville wins the match in about 2 minutes. So we move right on along. Next up we had was the Queen's Crown Tournament, the semifinal, as it was Zelina Vega versus Carmella. They actually did fight it. Zelina goes to the finals. She knocks out Carmella in 2 minutes and 40 seconds. We don't really need to talk about it, but wow. What a push for Zelina. Is it possible she's going all the way? I know the semifinal on the other end is a little bit of a danger match. This could end up being Shayna Baszler winning it all, but man, Zelina's going to Saudi, guys. So then,
Yep, absolutely. I'll take it briefly for a spin. Where was I? All right. It was another way too short match in a tournament that has quickly devolved into a source of contempt among wrestling fans. And it's hard to believe, but this is actually something that, all of us, and even Derek Ferreira, this is one of the rare things. We hardly agree on anything anymore, but this is one of the rare times where we actually agree with Derek Ferreira on something. Hard to believe, but it's true. And because it's quickly developed into a source of contempt among wrestling fans. But it did have its positives. It included a logical development in the rivalry between Liv Morgan and Carmella, and more importantly, booked Zelina Vega in her biggest match, the biggest match of her WWE career by a mile. La Munica has been an underutilized performer for a long time. I should know. I've seen her, because you remember Impact Wrestling. That's where I first remember her, as part of Mexican America. Her and Sarita and Sean Hernandez and Anarquia. I remember that very vividly. there's a strong likelihood that Doudrop or Shayna Baszler beats her for the crown, even though I think it's looking more like Shayna at this point, which I think she deserves, honestly, after how she's been booked, especially with the whole Nia BS, but still. But those in power should reconsider if that is indeed the plan. A strong personality with in-ring ability she's yet to put on full display. There are far worse options available than utilizing the crown to catapult Zelina Vega into a prominent role. And if I'm not mistaken, didn't she get drafted to Monday Night Raw?
Yes.
So if Zelina wins the Queen's Crown tournament, and
she would be, but remember, it doesn't go into effect, but it would be still considered a SmackDown win.
Yes, it would.
But she would be taking the crown to Raw because that's when everything goes into effect. So technically, as of now, she is the SmackDown representative going to Crown Jewel.
Correct. And I'll tell you, if she wins, I mean, hey, and as long as they don't F it up, which we know Monday Night Raw does have a tendency to F up careers, we know. And it's a damn shame because there have been a lot of big names that went to Raw and we were thinking, all right, bigger and better things are coming. A lot of them ended up getting lost in the shuffle. Asuka. Sorry, just had to get that off my chest, but it's true. But provided they don't F it up, even though I have no faith in them, if they don't F it up, MF, with her coming over to Team Red, we will have no problem utilizing her into being a potential breakout star in the women's division. She could be one of those best kept secrets. And SmackDown had their chance. I mean, yeah, they're making up for it right now, but she wins this and goes to Raw with it. I am hopeful that that'll lead her to bigger and better things because MF, you and I know, we both saw her work in Impact, so we know what she was capable of there. And then when she came here, I was just as excited as you were. Of course, you were more excited than me, but anyways, she's got the talent, she's there, but don't F it up. That's all I can say, whether she wins this thing or not. So I would love to see it. I absolutely would. She hasn't really had that defining moment yet. She wins the Queen's Crown tournament as horrible as it was, and it was terrible because every match so far has been a ho-hum diva fight. But I don't know. We'll see. But not much more to say from me. Obviously, the match was, well, I'm not going to really call it a dud. There was actually some decent action in it, so I'll probably give it about 1 for the effort. I'll be generous on this, but I don't know. So it's the biggest win so far. And Thursday at Crown Jewel, Saudi Arabia, could lead to an even bigger win. But it's not going to be easy because it's not going to be easy. Doudrop, big and powerful. We know this. I mean, she's a big girl. I mean, she's got the weight. She's got the weight advantage, no doubt about that. And she could easily squash her like a grape. Either way, Zelina is going to be the underdog no matter what because both of them on the Raw side are favorites. Doudrop because of her weight and her power. Shayna, scary. That's all there is to say on that. So, Zelina, I'm happy you made it this far, but darling, you're in big trouble, honey. That's all there is to say on that because I don't like your chances regardless of who it is. So, and if it's Shayna, may God have mercy on your beautiful soul. That's all there is to say. So, all right, said my piece. I don't know if Bullock wants to share anything, feel free, or if not, then we'll just continue on.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, guys, to me, I don't care who comes out of this as the winner. This tournament for me has been an absolute failure. I mean, we've had a lot of short matches out of this, and this tournament just it hasn't wowed me at all. I'm sorry. I'm just calling it like I see it. I mean, if anybody wants to call me out on it, go right ahead. I don't give a damn. I mean, I really don't care for it. I mean, and as far as I'm concerned, I'm not even going to even bother watching it, the final, because as far as I'm concerned, for the rating for this Queen's Crown tournament is a big old F. Period. That's as far as I'm going to go with this.
Okay.
Fletch, it's yours.
All right, so we'll move right on along. Next up we had was for the SmackDown Tag Team titles, as it was the Usos against the Street Profits in a street fight nonetheless. And the winner of the bout in 11 minutes even, and still the SmackDown Tag Team Champions, the Usos. I believe this goes to Anthony. So, Anthony, it is all yours. My goodness, what a match.
And what was the time on that again?
11 minutes even.
I thought it was a little longer than that. Maybe that was TV time, but one of the top fights of the night. This is really where the show started to pick up right here. This is where the business picked up. The Usos are all-timers, and the Street Profits don't get nearly enough credit for being as truly great as they are. These two teams, facing competition from another company, went to the ring and tore the house down in a street fight for the tag titles. This was energetic, chaotic, and had fans thinking for a moment that Dawkins and Ford may actually win the gold despite shipping off to Raw as part of the draft. That the performers were able to force an astute and knowledgeable fan base to let down its guard and invest in the action is a compliment to their skill. Who knows which team steps up to challenge the Usos next, but whoever it is will have the opportunity to work with one of the best tandems in professional wrestling history. And whatever becomes of the Profits on Monday nights, one thing is for sure. No team has elevated its stock over the last 2 years like Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins. Their work and dedication are undeniable. No doubt about this. 3 3/4 to 4 stars for this. You can make an argument for Fight of the Night, but then again, the match that follows this, the match we're going to get into after this, you can easily make an argument for that to be the Fight of the Night as well. But this is definitely right up there. No doubt about that. So 3 3/4 to 4. And I am so damn happy to have Ford and Dawkins back on Team Red. I mean, they had their fun on SmackDown. Now it's time to come back to Raw and elevate our tag team division, because God forbid we need it. I mean, we only have 2 good teams in there in RK Bro and Styles and Omos. But other than that, we need some fresh teams in that division. So not much more to say on this. Michael Bullock, 3 3/4 to 4 stars. If they could do that in 11 minutes, who knows what they could have done with more time.
Yeah, I mean, what a match that was. 3 3/4 to 4 stars. I mean, these two teams definitely put on a match here that I certainly enjoyed, that I know you guys definitely enjoyed. So, yeah, so there's really nothing more to say. And, yeah, I mean, Street Profits going back to Raw after Crown Jewel, so who knows what's in store for them. So there's really nothing more to say. Fletch, it's yours.
Yeah, 3 3/4, no doubt about it. Excellent matchup. We're not gonna hesitate. We're just gonna go into the next one, and this one was a special match because it was Becky Lynch versus Sasha Banks, non-title match. But the kicker was, thanks to the guys on Fox, because this was on FS1, this match was commercial free. That's right. You got to see the entire match, no commercial interruptions. This one was on the house. The winner in 17 minutes, 45 seconds, officially, Sasha Banks wins the match. Michael Bullock, it is yours.
Well, first off, Fletch, before we get into the match, I know you're going to be happy with what I'm about to say. The Atlanta Braves have taken Game 1 of the National League Championship Series.
Hit an MF.
Thanks to a walk-off hit by Austin Riley. So the Braves go up 1-0 in the series. So, Fletch, I know you're one heck of a happy man. So
hit us with it. You know you want to MF. Come on.
No,
no, Florio.
We're too early, Florio. I'm not doing it.
Just for the game. All right. Yeah, you're right.
He's only gonna do it if they, and the key word is if they go to the World Series.
No, I know what he wants me to say, but I'm not doing it. I'm focused on wrestling right now. I'm not focusing on anything else. So, Bullock, you can continue.
All right. Yeah, so what a match this was. And for this to be commercial free, that makes it even sweeter. So all I can say is 4 to 4.25 stars is my rating for this. I mean, when these two, when they get in the ring, they always seem to deliver something really good. And this was no exception. A great momentum builder for Sasha Banks going into that triple threat for the SmackDown Women's title in Saudi Arabia. So, yeah, there's really nothing more to say. Fletch, Sasha's going into that triple threat with the momentum.
Yeah, no doubt about it. This was, I gotta say, this was awesome. There was really nothing more to add on this one. It was a great moment. It was a great match. Incredible body of work. And because of the fact that this was commercial free and there was no interruptions and they never slowed, there was never a moment where it looked slow or plotty or anything else. It looked fluid. It looked consistent. It looked excellent. Yes, there was a minor interference by Bianca Belair because they had to throw that little element in there, but it never took away from the match. At the end of the night, Sasha gets a big leg up, and without a doubt, this was without a doubt the best women's match of the year for SmackDown Live. This was the female match of the year on the SmackDown show this year of 2021. There hasn't been a better match than this, and there probably won't be a better match than this. This was excellent. This was exactly what they needed it to be. And kudos to FS1 and the Fox telling WWE we need a hook. And not only does WWE give us a hook by giving us this great matchup, they absolutely give us a moment that we will never forget. Female wrestling fight of the year candidate, 4.25, 4.5 is my rating. Anthony Florio, how do you follow that?
By first off, saying my apologies for that little snafu a moment ago. I mean,
don't.
You know how excited I get.
No need to apologize. No need to apologize.
Yeah,
if you want the moment, you'll get it later, but
okay,
not right now.
Okay, all right. But yeah, that's all. I mean, because you guys know I get excited very easily, and then and considering the circumstances, I mean, happy for both of you guys because both of you guys big wins today. So that's all there is to say on that. So but anyways, getting back into this. All right. There's a lot we have to make sense of here. First, this was a pay-per-view main event on free television, delivered by two of the standard bearers in WWE. Sasha Banks and Becky Lynch have been among the best wrestlers in the company for years now, and they once again proved it with a match that stands shoulder to shoulder with anything else on the show. Any recent show, for that matter. It was a great match that played on several themes, the most obvious being the usage of the ring post. Bullock. Bullock. I mean, when we do our Raw and or SmackDown chats, what do I always like to say about the ring post? Crunch. You know that. And we saw a lot of crunching on that one. Anyways, Becky Lynch utilized it to her benefit on numerous occasions, but in the end, it was Bianca Belair whipping her hand off of it that proved her downfall. It is immensely disappointing that these two women are headed to different brands because a series of matches between Lynch and Banks would have been superb, especially if they can leave the bells and whistles out of it and just have superb contests. Throw Belair into the mix at Crown Jewel, and you may be looking at one of the show stealers on the most stacked Saudi Arabia pay-per-view card ever. The previous biggest, I would probably say, was probably the greatest Royal Rumble, if I'm going to be honest. The very first Saudi show. This one just surpassed it, honestly. But there is another thing we have to make sense of, gentlemen, and this needs to be addressed. I know this is not ridiculously raw, but we're going to address it anyway. What's going to happen Monday night on Raw at the Golden One Center in Sacramento? What's going to happen? Charlotte Flair is going to defend the Raw Women's Championship against Bianca Belair. I am going to go on the record. I am going on the record right here, right now. And yes, I'm actually going to have the balls to do this. I got the cojones to do this. I'm calling for a new champion. Amen.
Oh yeah, it's going to happen. I'm almost certain it's going to happen. Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely going to happen. I see Bianca Belair dethroning the Queen.
Just
and
as
we
much
know,
as
MF, you know the reason for that.
Yeah. Well, I know that. But just as much as I'm easily gonna openly predict Sasha Banks winning at Crown Jewel.
Amen to that. Amen to that. 100%. So, and we know what's going on. Bianca drafted to Raw. Charlotte drafted to SmackDown. Charlotte has the Raw Women's title. We need a new flag bearer for the women's division on Team Red, and I couldn't be any more delighted to call that flag bearer the EST. So maybe this whole summer, maybe that whole snafu at SummerSlam, maybe that was for the best. Maybe it was for the best. So we'll have to wait and see on that, guys. But for right now, I cannot wait for Monday night. That's all I can say on that. So and it all goes into and think about it. Bianca's going to go into this match as the Raw Women's is very likely going to go into this match Thursday as the Raw Women's Champion. So that's definitely something we got to think about, guys. So with all that being said, Bianca got involved a little at the end, so I can only give it 4.25 stars for the effort. I mean, you could definitely make an argument for 4.5, but the ending kind of bothered me a little bit, but not too much. I'm not gonna make a really big stink about it. I'm not gonna go Jesse mode on this one, but still, this was the fight of the night. 4.25 stars is the correct rating for this outstanding match between two of the best. You got and I'm sure Charlotte. I'm sure deep down, Charlotte Flair and wherever she is, Bayley, I'm sure they were watching this match and they were saying, well done, ladies. Way to represent our clique. Way to represent the Four Horsewomen. So that's why you got to love them. So I don't know what else there is to say that hasn't been said already. Bigger and better things are coming for both women's divisions. There's no doubt about that. So where do we go now? Is it overall review? I think Bullock started this, didn't he? Yeah, he did. So
yeah, Bullock started it, but no, we still got one more thing. We had a contract signing right after that.
God. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, yeah. And that was Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns. And I got to say it, short, sweet, straight to the point. Excellent, excellent job. I mean, and the thing was, this was also commercial free. They literally cleared the ring, and you heard, they cleared the ring. They brought Roman Reigns out. They brought Brock Lesnar out. And, they signed the contract. And, at first he's like, Paul Heyman gets on the mic and is like, well, my tribal chief It's everything that you've asked for and everything else. And under my advisement, I recommend that you sign this contract. Roman signs, Brock signs immediately, and Roman's like, "Are you kidding me? You didn't even look at the contract? You just signed on the whim?" And he's like, "Oh, I looked at the contract this morning with my advocate, Paul Heyman." Oh, what?
Whoopsie!
What?
Whoopsie!
My advocate, Paul Heyman?
Morocco.
Heyman, you got some explaining to do.
Yes.
Oh my God. I mean, like my jaw hit the floor when I heard. I was like, huh?
Ruh-roh.
I was like, oh no, you didn't, Brock.
If looks could kill.
Oh,
If looks could kill.
this was awesome. It was short, sweet, and straight to the point. There was nothing it needed. It didn't need, and for once, I gotta admit this. Normally these contract signings, Michael Bullock, you know to say. You always say it. What always happens in these contract signings?
Hit it, JBL.
Well, all I can say is, Fletch, it doesn't end well.
Doesn't end well. But here's the thing. It didn't end well for Paul Heyman because of words. There was no fisticuffs. There was no fight. There was no drama. But the way they did it, the way they systematically manipulated this segment, this was a gold mine. I can't believe this. WWE does something out of the box, something intelligent. I can't believe I'm saying that. This was well done. The last 45 minutes of this Super SmackDown made this show excellent. This was a strong ending to the night. Florio, go. Please help.
I will, well, in the immortal words of Ben Stein, MF, I shall do my best. And I'm going to do my best right here and now. Short, sweet, to the point, and with a development that propels the story forward and creates genuine intrigue about the match it was tasked with selling. Suddenly, we have real questions about Paul Heyman's loyalty to Roman Reigns, and the fact that he did not immediately deny Brock Lesnar's accusation suggests there is a hint of truth to it. That creates drama and intrigue for a match that already had a ton of it. WWE has a spotty creative track record this year. Boy, does it ever. But everything it has accomplished with Roman Reigns has been gold. And this story, with all the moving parts and interwoven pieces, has been the best by far. The other segment of the night, I mean, it's right up there with the Edge segment. I mean, you really can't put one over the other. So I don't know what else there is for me to say. Michael Bullock, my advocate, Paul Heyman? What? Ruh-roh.
Yeah. All I can say is, Paul Heyman, you got some explaining to do to the tribal chief. And you saw the look on Roman's face. He had the look like he wanted to beat the living hell out of Heyman. I mean, or like dude, what the hell are you doing? I mean, oh my goodness. I mean, Paul Heyman he just put himself in a spot where he might not be able to get himself out of. I mean, it was short and sweet and to the point, but I'll tell you what, man. Paul Heyman's going to have some nightmares between now and Crown Jewel. Fletch, it's yours. All I can say is, I'm glad I'm not in Paul Heyman's shoes right now.
Anthony Florio, overall review of this supersized SmackDown. For most of the night, not so great.
No.
But the last 45 minutes
Yes.
from the Usos and the Street Profits to the final half an hour commercial free, perfection.
Those three things, that tag team championship street fight with the Usos and the Profits, Becky and Sasha's clinic, and the contract signing, couple that with the Edge segment, the Rollins segment. You got to throw that in there as well. I mean, that was another high point. Finn Balor, Sami Zayn, that was another high point. So couple all of that together. Yes, there were some things that were unnecessary and some things that were meh, but other than that, mainly because of what we saw in the last 45 minutes or so, I believe I think the correct rating for this show would be in excess of 7.5 to 8 out of. I think that would be the appropriate rating for this. Sasha and Becky, they stole the damn show. The Usos and the Street Profits right there. Finn Balor and Sami Zayn. Those were the three fights of the night. Couple that with the Edge, Rollins, and the contract signing. And this supersized SmackDown was indeed supersized. And the fact that WWE gave us a free match on the house, no commercial breaks. I know we've been ripping them a lot lately, especially with the way that they've booked the Queen's Crown tournament, which has been more of a ho-hum diva tournament more than anything else. But this is one thing they actually did right for a change, and I am very happy about that. So great job. So I don't know what else there is for me to say on that. For me, 7.5 to 8 out of 10. Michael Bullock, supersized SmackDown. Wasn't looking good early, but then once we got to that last 45 minutes, that definitely made the supersized SmackDown definitely live up to the hype.
Yeah, like you said, I mean, it wasn't looking good, but those final 45 minutes were pretty damn good, and gonna have people talking. So 7.5 for me. So there's really nothing more to say. Fletch, it's yours.
7.5, absolute incredible show. SmackDown delivered. That's all we were asking for. That's all we were hoping for. That's all we wanted. And they nailed it. Home run, out of the park, tremendous show. And now we shift gears to AEW. So AEW is the next thing on our docket here, on our long docket. So I hope we can start to speed this up a little bit. We did have a match. We started off with CM Punk and Matt Sydal. And when it was all said and done, I'm not even talking about these matches. This is just throwouts. So it was CM Punk versus Matt Sydal. CM Punk wins the match in 14 minutes and 44 seconds. Good match, solid fight. Good 3.5 star to start it off. In my opinion, they did very well with it. So there's really nothing more to add. Anthony, it's yours.
Yeah. All right. Punk and Sydal. All right. Yeah. The other three matches. Yeah. The other three matches. What, on YouTube?
They were on YouTube. So yeah, that doesn't count.
Okay. All right. Pre-show matches, technically. All right. So yeah. 3.5 to 3 3/4 of a star. Matt Sydal's high flying ability has been well documented, but his technical ability is on par with the best too. He could work a whole match without ever leaving his feet, and it would still be great. They took each other to the limit in this almost 20-minute classic on a night when we got, and I can't believe this didn't make the main show. We would have loved to have seen this. Minoru Suzuki versus Bryan Danielson. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
You put that on YouTube?
They put that on YouTube.
They put that on YouTube.
Yep.
Not on the main card.
Nope.
Blasphemy.
It was It was a pre-show match, and Yeah, blasphemy is not even the word I would say. If I had, I'm trying to keep it as PG as I can, but the thing that's thinking in my mind, Bret Hart 1997. This is utter BS. That's what that is.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
AEW,
that's a
you've
damn
done a lot of great things. This was a stupid move in my mind.
stupid. I mean, but anyways, Punk and Seidel made sure nobody forgot about him. The announcers did a good job adding a story to this match by mentioning their past encounters and how Seidel has come up short every time. Their post-match hug felt earned. That was definitely a sign of respect. So great matchup here. I could easily make an argument. You can definitely make an argument for Fight of the Night honors. 3.5 to 3 3/4 of a star. Well done. And not much more to say. Michael Bullock, not bad. Not a bad outing by the former Evan Bourne, wasn't it?
Yeah, not a bad outing by him. But yeah, I mean, 3.5 stars. This was definitely a really great match. I mean, good momentum for Punk, but definitely a great effort by Dante Martin here. So yeah, there's nothing more to say. Flex, it's yours.
Yeah, nothing really more to add. So we move on to the next fight of the evening, which was the Bunny going one-on-one with Ruby Soho. When it was all said and done, Ruby Soho wins the match in 9 minutes and 48 seconds. Anthony, it's yours.
Ruby Soho and the Bunny were given a lot of time, and they made the most out of it with a hard-hitting and competitive match. The Bunny looked especially good with some of her maneuvers. She has clearly made significant strides as a technician since joining AEW. The post-match beatdown with Penelope Ford helping the Bunny keeps their feud going with Soho for the time being. All three of these women are going to want to be the first TBS champion. So we will probably see them collide again during the TBS tournament when they announce the bracket next week. So I'll give this a solid 3 stars for the effort. So not much more to say here. Michael Bullock, 3 with Ruby, the Bunny, and Penelope. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if we see all 3 of these women in the upcoming TBS title tournament.
Oh, I think we will. So yeah, so to me, this was a 2.5 star match. I mean, this was a fine match for what it was. I mean, obviously no surprise with the post match beatdown by the Bunny and Penelope Ford, but all I could say is those two are really making a strong alliance, and this was basically them sending a message to the entire women's division saying, hey, Dr. Britt Baker may be the women's champion, but we run the whole division. And if anybody's got a problem with that, try us. And quite frankly, guys, I do not want to cross paths with those two, especially the Bunny, because, as JR would say, she's crazier than a pet coon. So, nothing more to say. Fletch, it's yours.
Yeah, really nothing more to say. You pretty much summed it up. You're absolutely right about that as well. So 2.5 stars is my rating for the match. It was solid for what it was worth, but now we lead us to the main event of the evening. The final match of the evening for Rampage, as it was a 6-man tag team match, as it was Chris Jericho, the new TNT champion Sammy Guevara, and Jake Hager. They went up against All Ego, Ethan Page, Scorpio Sky, and UFC legend and former UFC heavyweight champion of the world, Junior Chicano Dos Santos. And when it was all said and done, it was the Santos, Scorpio Sky, and Ethan Page winning the match in 11 minutes and 25 seconds. Michael Bullock, it's yours.
Yeah, I mean, this was a good match here. I'll give it about maybe 3 3.25 for the effort here. I mean, Yeah, I mean, I thought it was a good match here, but and Junior Dos Santos, I mean, I'll tell you what, good first match for him in in AEW. In AEW, so yeah, I mean, this was definitely a good match, but the one thing I cannot stand is seeing that stupid idiot muttonhead Dan Lambert smile after a victory like that. Oy. I mean, there's some other guys I hate, but now this guy is really getting on my damn nerves. So there's really nothing more to say. Fletch, it's yours.
Oh, trust me, Mike Bullock. This guy is a jack off. There's no doubt about it. This guy is a pain in the you know what. Yeah, trust me. He's been in MLW in Major League Wrestling. That's where I know Dan Lambert. But I also know him very well from the UFC because his American Top Team is legit. They got some players. They got some thoroughbreds in American Top Team, and you've been seeing them showing up week after week after week. But we saw it again. Jorge Masvidal, game red, sticking his nose where it didn't belong. Yes, that beautiful blonde vixen herself, Paige Van Zant, also getting involved, which I know got Anthony Floyd was heart racing for a moment or two. Seeing her jump the rail and try to distract the referee, that led to Jorge Masvidal to drop that knee on at the end. So no, there's nothing more to add. This was about a 3-star match. I just gotta penalize them for the overbook finish at the end. Florio, it's yours.
You said everything, especially Paige Van Zant. Yes, absolutely. But yes, you're right. There was too much going on here, but most of it was fun to watch. This would have worked better as a 2-on-2 tag match, but it's understandable why AEW would want to pack everyone into one bout. Sammy Guevara and Scorpio Sky were the most impressive performers, but Junior Dos Santos is going to get a lot of attention for how he looked. He took to pro wrestling surprisingly well, but his time in the ring was also limited to cover up any shortcomings he may have. Considering every other match had a clean finish on this show, having one with some shenanigans wasn't too much. The post-match beatdown means this feud is nowhere near done. This technically 2-hour Rampage, including YouTube, packed a lot of great action onto the show while also featuring some solid video packages for different views. It wouldn't be shocking if AEW did this more often moving forward. So there isn't much more to say on that. 3.25 stars. I agree with the rating. So overall review, and MF starts it off.
I can only give this maybe 7 out of 10. I wasn't really overly excited about it. I thought they did very well with it for the most part, but really nothing major to write home about. Yes, I'll say the Punk match was enjoyable. I actually did not mind Ruby versus Bunny. I thought that was all right. The 6-man tag was fine, but I didn't like the overbook finish. So, I mean, maybe I'm nitpicking here, but 7 out of 10. Florio?
No, not at all. You're not at all nitpicking. 7 out of 10 for me as well. And that's all we can give it based on what we got. I mean, we didn't see the other matches. So the Punk Seidel, that was the fight of the night. The other 2 matches were solid. They were, but they just weren't as spectacular as that one was. 7 out of 10 for me, Bullock.
Yeah, 7 out of 10 for me. I pretty much agree with everything you say. So let's get on to Saturday Night Dynamite.
Starting off with Malachi Black versus Dante Martin. Malachi Black wins in 10 minutes. Good match, good opener. 3 stars. Anthony, go.
Yeah, 3-star match. I 100% agree. Solid effort from. Yes, it was definitely another solid effort from Dante Martin, and I mean, what a his stock is only going to rise. My only gripe is Lio Rush. I mean, he's starting to look like that hype man again. with the whole Lashley thing. But Martin continued to look like a star here, turning in another gutsy performance in what was one of his biggest and most important matches today. He may not have won against the more established competitors yet, but when he does, the struggle to get that elusive W will be more respected and appreciated by the fans. He's going to be a bigger star because of the trials and tribulations. As for Black, he's such a refreshing, different, and compelling character. He's in AEW what he should have been from day one in WWE. The results are wholly different, and his presence on each show is a tone changer. He's an attraction, a modern-day Undertaker, whose presence will make up for a lot and enhance even more. Black is ready for that main event run right now. Even though one more time next week, him and Cody Rhodes for the third time. So not much more to say. Michael Bullock, what else is there to say? 3 stars.
Yeah, 3 stars for me. I mean, and like you said, I think Dante Martin is definitely something to keep an eye on. And yeah, even though he lost, I thought he looked good in defeat, and I think things are only going to get better for Malachi Black. So yeah, there's nothing more to say. Fletch, it's yours.
Next up we had was the Lucha Bros putting the AAA World Tag Team titles against a team that was handpicked by Andrade El Idolo. He selected Los Super Reinas, and when it was all said and done, the winners of the bout in 8 minutes and 15 seconds and new AAA World Tag Team Champions, it was Los Super Reinas. However, they unmasked after the match. It was FTR. That's right. It was Cash Wheeler. It was Dawson. And now FTR are AAA World Tag Team Champions. Anthony Florio. History was made. But this is the first time an American tag team has won the AAA tag team titles.
Wow. This was choppier late than you would have expected from the talent involved. With that said, it was still a really solid tag match between 2 of the best in the industry, hampered only by the overbooking that surrounded Tully Blanchard and the belt shot. The biggest takeaway is that FTR is the most non-AAA team in wrestling, and they now hold that promotion's titles, with the idea being that they will have to travel to Mexico to defend the titles against wrestlers that are decidedly not of the same style or influence. That should be fun to watch unfold, if nothing else. FTR of the Pinnacle helped Andrade, a star they have known dating back to NXT, to tie up any other loose ends. A backstage encounter between Andrade and MJF exposed a business relationship between the two, but only for one night. It'll be interesting to see if Andrade takes the condescending tone of MJF personally, and a rivalry between those two ensue. So, a lot to think about here. But, yeah, another solid 3-star match. And Michael Bullock, how about it? An American tag team is now holding the most prestigious tag team title in Mexico, the AAA World Tag Team Championship. What about it?
Yeah, this is definitely history. I mean, with an American tag team to hold the title, and from AAA. So yeah, this is now they got to go to Mexico to wrestle. I mean, especially since they won their belt. So there's really nothing more to say. Yeah, so there's really nothing more for me to say. I'll give it about 2.5 to 3 for the effort. So Fletch, it's yours.
2.5 to 3. They are now the second American-born tag team in the history of the company to win the AAA World Tag Team titles. The Young Bucks were the first ones to do it. However, they are now only the 5th American to ever hold the belt. The other men who actually won the title, you got to go with Jack Evans, who was the first American to ever hold the belt. With Atletico, I believe Joe Leader. Is he Mexican or is he from the United States? Oh no, he was from Mexico. So no, it's not Joe Leader. So I will say this: The first man to ever do it was Jack Evans when he had Extreme Tiger with him. He did it on multiple occasions. Jack Evans was able to held the belt. I want to say 4 times in his career he held it, and most notably with Atletico. But Atletico is from South Africa, not from USA. But the Young Bucks were the first to do it just 2 years ago. They won it at Rey de Reyes at the King of Kings event. That was March 16, 2019, where they unseated and took out the Lucha Bros to win the tag team titles. And now the Lucha Bros loses the titles tonight to FTR in Miami. Oh my goodness, the balance of power has changed again. Now, next up on the fight card, we had Wheeler Yuta versus Jon Moxley. Moxley wins the match in 48 seconds. Nothing more on that. Then we had a 6-man tag team fight, as it was the Dark Order. They went up against the Young Bucks and Adam Cole, and the Bucks and Adam Cole wins the match in 10 minutes and 33 seconds. Solid match. All right. It was pretty good for what it was worth. There was really nothing more to add here. This was about maybe, I want to say, another 3-star bout. Anthony, it's yours.
Yeah. 3 to 3.25 stars. Dark Order is such a great, energetic babyface squad. They have excelled in these trios and multi-man tag matches every time they have had the opportunity. The crowd loves John Silver. Alex Reynolds is the glue that holds everything together, and Evil Uno is an athletic big man with a ton of experience. They work well together, and when you add in opposition like the all-world Young Bucks and Adam Cole, you're destined to have a fun, high-quality match on your hands. That was the case here. The heels picked up the win to further establish the Super Click trio, but Dark Order benefited by hanging with them all the way to the end of the match. Jungle Boy taking up the fight against the Elite is a great role for him and will only serve to heighten his role on the show. He is great, has been for the last year, and will thrive working with the tippy-top stars in the company. I'm actually going to up my rating, 3.25, 3.5 stars for this. To this point, it was the fight of the night. So, but there was one that was actually further than this, so not much more to say. One of the fights of the night. Michael Bullock, whether you like the Elite or you don't, they can damn sure deliver in the ring every time. High-quality stuff every time. Top-notch.
Yeah, 3.25, 3.5. I mean, yeah, the Dark Order I thought looked good in defeat, but obviously the Elite definitely was the better team here. So yeah, there's nothing more to say. Let's move on, Fletch.
Yeah, really nothing more to add here. So yeah, we move right on along with the next match. Penelope Ford versus Kiera Hogan. Penelope Ford wins the match, 7 minutes and 46 seconds. But after the match, Ruby Soho ran down, got a little piece of her. Florio, is yours.
Penelope Ford was always going to win this, if only because she is currently embroiled in a rivalry with Ruby Soho. Kiera Hogan, though, starred here, showing off the spark and fire that has defined her in-ring ability dating back to her time in Impact Wrestling. She looked like a star who will one day see her role expanded as AEW figures out exactly what its longtime plans are for the women's division. Ruby Soho hitting the ring and sending a physical message to Penelope Ford and staring down the bunny continues that rivalry. Love it or hate it, at least the company has developed a couple of secondary programs in its women's division, a particular area of the roster that needed it. 2.5 to 2.75 of a star. Michael Bullock, it's yours.
Yeah, 2.5 to 2.5 stars is my rating. I mean, Penelope Ford. I mean, we knew she was going to get the win here over Kiera Hogan, and yeah, Ruby Soho getting a little payback on Penelope Ford to no one's surprise. So yeah, so there's really nothing more to say. Fletch, it's yours.
Yeah, no doubt about it. 2.5 stars for me, and now it does bring us into a main event. It was Bryan Danielson versus Bobby Fish. Bryan Danielson wins the match in 12 minutes and 49 seconds. I believe this goes to Michael Bullock. Yeah, Bullock, it's yours. So you lead off on the main event.
Yeah, this was a good match here. Definitely a good way to close out the show. I'll give this about 3.5 stars. I mean, with the body of work of obviously of Brian Danielson and Bobby Fish, I mean, no doubt you were going to get definitely a good match out of this one. So kudos to both men. Nothing else to say. Fletch, it's yours.
3.5 stars. Totally agree with everything you just said. I don't think there's really nothing more to add. I think Bullock pretty much said it. So, Anthony, final thought. It's all yours.
If you see Brian Danielson and Bobby Fish's names next to each other on a card, you can probably expect a technical wrestling clinic, and that's what we got here. The strikes were on point. Each man tested the other's pain tolerance with grueling submission work, and in the end, it was the wrestler that could trap his opponent with nowhere to go that ultimately earned the win. With Kenny Omega preoccupied by Hangman Page at Full Gear, simply letting Danielson earn wins in great wrestling matches is easily the best use of them. Last night's near classic against Minoru Suzuki and this quite good match with Bobby Fish proves as much. 3.5 to 3.75 of a star. I'll probably go as far as to call this the fight of the night. Right there with the young with the super elite against the Dark Order. So not much more to say. Overall thoughts on Dynamite.
Yeah, no, and we're gonna lead it off here, and I'm gonna say it was a solid show. I could easily call another 7.5 for a show. I thought they did a really good job with it, and yeah, Anthony, it's yours.
Yeah, 7.5 for me. All the matches were fine. I mean, we really had only one bad match on the show. That was the Jon Moxley and Wheeler Yuta. But other than that, I mean, all the other matches were solid to good to great. Hangman Adam Page. I mean, that promo. Best promo of his career. Passionate, told his story, set up the big pay-per-view match. It allowed the audience to feel something for him, creating the ever-important connection, and put him in a position where it is almost has to capture the gold on November 13th. Page has been the heart and soul of AEW since its inception. It's time to crown him and let him run as the top dog on a roster full of them. So there isn't much more to say on that. 7.5 out of 10. Only one bad match. The other matches were solid to good. Only 2 of them were truly great, and that's all we can ask. And World Title Eliminator Tournament, the final match will be at Full Gear. Obviously, you would have to consider Brian Danielson as the favorite right now. But if the plan is to put Hangman, if the plan is to crown Hangman, I mean, he would need a good heel to go against, I think. So I think the best chance for a heel winner would probably be the Murder Hawk Monster, Lance Archer. But you never know. We'll have to wait and see on that. But nonetheless, though, that's all there is to say on that. So there isn't much more to say. 7.5 for me. Michael Bullock taking home, and we talked about it on that last Wednesday Night Mayhem that we did when I filled in for MF. We talked about it on that night when we were going to get Kenny Omega and Hangman Adam Page, and you said November 13th. Obviously, Tony Khan and company heard you. I believe we had that one.
Yes, we did have it. Yeah, another 7 to 7.5. This was another good show. I mean, every other match was. I mean, there was one bad match, but every other match was solid to good to great. So, yeah, well done. Yeah, well done, AEW. And yeah, that promo by Adam Hangman Page, perfect. It was absolutely perfect. His best promo ever. And you could just see the heart and passion out of Adam Hangman Page. I mean, hyping his match for the AEW World Title against the champion Kenny Omega. He's been at it for so long. He's been doing it for so long. I think it's time for him to get his crowning moment. And he's going to be the one to end the long reign of Kenny Omega and become the AEW World Champion at Full Gear. I mean, that's not a promise. That's a guarantee. Fletch, it's yours.
And it's also not a prediction. It's a spoiler.
All right, guys. So that's it. We're out of here. We're done for the night. It was a long show. Thank you, Anthony Flayo. Thank you, Michael Bullock. And guys, we do it again on Monday night. With Monday Night Raw, we do Ridiculously Raw, hosted by Anthony Floyo. Now here's something that I want to do, and I hope Floyo you agree with this. We're gonna do Monday Night Raw. That's fine, but because of the fact that it looks like the schedule is gonna be out of whack again, because of the hockey and everything else, we won't have any other opportunity to do this. Preview of Crown Jewel on Monday night.
Yep. I had a feeling you were going to go there, MF, and you know what? Well, we can easily accommodate this in order to accommodate the time constraints and everything else because of our work commitments and all that stuff. What we're going to do for this week only, mind you, we are going to have a. We're gonna review the Monday Night Raw, and then after that, whether we have notes or not, if we have to wing it, we'll wing it. We will indeed do a preview of Crown Jewel. We'll put that in place of the Tony Steak for a weekend, man. No worries.
Okay. So with that said, we'll do that, and then of course it looks like we're gonna have to do the same thing again. So,
a little different. The only difference is. Yes, we're going to do college football Thursday on Thursday. Yes, we're going to do the NFL show on Friday. Those are confirmed. But Saturday night, I motion that we move that show to the following night, Sunday night, the 24th, because next Saturday night, as you all know, is the Impact Wrestling Bound for Glory pay-per-view, and it's going to be starting at 10 p.m. And
that's right. Okay. All right. So we'll move it to Sunday then.
Yeah. And anytime Sunday night is fine. Whatever time's good for you.
Okay. So we'll go from there, and we'll keep you posted. We'll keep you posted, guys. So until then, for Anthony Flayo, for Michael Bullock, I'm Michael Fletcher. Have a good night, everybody. We'll